Graded and encapsulated records are going to save the vinyl industry. What is shaking, everybody? Welcome to Surface Noise, the B-side. Thank you for being here. We got some hot topics today. We got some hot people today. And yeah, we just want to have some fun for the next couple of hours, so do not go anywhere. First, let's introduce everybody. You know these guys, but let's just say, hey, first of all, Jose is on guitar, right, Jose? How's it going, man? Good.
Looking at a sim split for that record you just got.
See, if you have to look that hard, then maybe it's just fine.
Well, yeah, you know.
Then we got Chris. What's up, Chris? Chris is on. What are you on today? Drums, Chris?
I have no rhythm. I think I'm maybe on tambourine or something.
On tambourine, on the triangle, we have Chris, and then on bass we got Jason Rojas. What's up, Jason?
Thanks for having me on, Jay Spins.
Always a pleasure. And David Bianco today on. You must be on drums then.
I'm the
All
drum.
right, he's on. There we go. There we go. All right, guys, we got some fun stuff. We're gonna get into it. Let's kick it right off. I think the first thing is. What is the first thing? So we got the way we're gonna do this today is we got some fun little segments. So we're gonna do hot takes. We're gonna jump into something called full court press. We're gonna jump into something called rate it or hate it. And then we're going to jump into a showdown of two amazing albums that just need a reissue. We're just all champing at the bit to get these things repressed in good, nice, clean, great sounding audiophile issues. So we'll get into all that. So don't go anywhere. We're also going to do a poll after each segment. So you guys are going to get involved. That'll be fun also. You guys have a voice today. Let's kick it off. And let me see if I can do this correctly. We'll kick it off with our first segment. The first segment is called, oh my gosh, where, see, I'm so prepared. The first one is called Hot Take, Cold Take.
Hello. Hot take.
Quiet take.
I know, we needed some, what happened to the sound, dude? I need some music to accompany that. I was pressed for time,
scary,
I'm sorry. You guys, feel free to add the music or the vocals to that. All right, so what is a hot take? What is a cold take? Good question. A hot take is really going to be something that's controversial. This is going to be a take where we're like, wait a minute, that's crazy if that's true, or you know, something that's kind of disruptive in the vinyl community. A cold take is where we're kind of like, no big deal, whatever. And we're gonna rate each of these, or just kind of judge, decide among ourselves and with you which of these are hot takes and cold takes, if any of them are hot takes. The first hot take we have today is a little topic called two things: subscription services. And I know we got into that last week a little bit, and we don't, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but we want to get into that a little bit. And then, because I don't think everybody was here last week. And then also, is vinyl on the way out? I mean, I keep hearing that. I keep seeing new videos cropping up like every day in the vinyl community saying that this is why the vinyl community vinyl is going away. We're going to be back to buying $1 records in thrift stores and all that good stuff. So, I don't know. Is that true? Let's start with subscription services, and then we'll spend the first half on that, maybe 15 minutes, and then we'll break off some, is vinyl on the way out after that? Jay, you got any opinions about subscription services? You must. Do you belong to any subscription services? Will you not touch these things with a 10-foot pole? What's your opinion on those?
VMP, if you're watching, I forgot to cancel, so I'm with you for another 3 months. That's the last 3 months you got, So I'm getting that CCR, Willie and the Poor Boys. You better do good, because, I think that Arnaldo's out, and I'm the last of that standing, So they
what
got 3
happened with
months.
VMP? Because I keep hearing bad things.
Well, they just had that shakeup, of course, and then I don't know, I believe there was like a live video where Arnaldo was on, like in the chat, and they ignored him. And then when he tried to press them further, they got a little aggressive. Like, I think they blocked him, which
Whoa.
on a Discord chat, I don't know. Don't do that, VMP guys, if you're watching, you know.
That's a bad look for sure. Is it what's the thing? I mean, is it just the quality of titles that are coming out?
Yes.
Is it a quality control deal?
I think it's all both of those actually, you know. So they're a little bit faltering, and now with, you know, the Verve doing their own subscription,
Yeah.
and then who else is doing a Tone Poet Society, right? They're doing their own thing, you know. I mean, that kind of leaves like VMP, like what are they going to do? You know, are they going to be able to license future titles? Everyone's kind of doing it now. And that's why I can't wait for MoFi DSD Daddies coming in 2025. You know, Jose and I will be the first members of the DSD Daddies.
Oh, is that right? Okay. What do you think, Chris? I know, and I don't want to speak for you, but I'll let you go. I'll just ask the question: Are you subscribed to any of the services? What's your experience been with those, and what do you plan on doing in the future?
I'm still with VMP, though it's wearing thin. I haven't accepted many titles over the past 6 months. I've returned a lot of QC issues. When I first joined them, I think it was 2017. 10 out of 12 titles a year were just absolute knockouts for me. You know, as I was getting back into building my collection, I think they're good for the VC if it's what you like. You know, I think there was a lot of negative backlash about the Tone Poet Society that was some kind of cash grab, and people were upset about the exclusive nature of it. But if you're not into jazz or you don't need all those titles, it shouldn't really impact you much. And if you're going to be selective on what you buy, you could, you know, pony up on the secondary market for the quarterly exclusives. It's no doubt they're going to hit, you know, the secondary markets. And I think this is something that's been going on for a while. Maybe not with vinyl, but the Grateful Dead's been doing their Dave's Picks as a subscription for years, where you can pay up front for the 4 releases a year and you get a pretty big discount. So it's not something that's brand new to the community. And from a digital standpoint, Fish has a digital service that's $100 a year. You get all of their official releases to stream, and you get all these live shows and archival live releases, so you don't have to buy them as one-offs. So I think they're important and impactful if you're into what they're selling, and if they're not, then you just don't join. But it's not something that's really going to destroy the community. I think it'll force labels to put out higher quality reissues and products. And I even tested the Interscope one for a 2 or 3 month run because there was 2 or 3 titles in a row that I really wanted, and I was happy with them. They weren't bad, and they were nice titles and nice unique packaging. And some of the albums were important to me. That's why I grabbed them. But the one thing I will say about the subscription services that I'm a little bit discouraged about is I do feel, especially with the Blue Note Tone Poet Society, that they've ridden the backs of some of the independent stores since 2017 or 2018 on that series, and they've done well. And I feel that could impact people going to the store to pick up those titles. At the same time, I don't think there's a lot of people that are going to get the full year to get every title. I think people are going to be selective. A lot of people in the VC have originals or good reissues of those titles, so if they might pass on them. But you know, overall, if I think and I'm also an Atlantic, the Atlantic 75 series subscription, which I really enjoy. Yeah, it's high quality. I like almost all the titles, and the ones I don't like, they have resale value, so I'm not losing money on them. There's plenty of people on Discogs that I've linked up with that will take the extra titles I have. So I'd like to see more of it. Maybe for some, you know, niche record labels or niche reissue labels would do more of this. I think it'd be great. I don't see it being a bad thing at all. And if you don't like it, just don't subscribe to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and I just to piggyback on that a little bit, is like with the Blue Note, the Tone Poet series, is that nothing really changes for people that are just buying them one off the titles that they want. And they're going to spend $40, or they'll get them on sale at Amazon for $30 or whatever the case is. I think the savings are really fair. I mean, considering the fact that, you know, you will save yourself a fair amount of money by subscribing. And you tell me, it was like the highest you could save is maybe like what, $7-8 a title or something.
Yeah,
And then you're going to get free
well,
shipping. I mean, that's huge. And then you have access to those exclusives. So I don't see an issue with it. I just see a company that hopefully is just kind of responding to the market and doing some things that are working in other categories. And two, it's tough. It's easy to maybe compare them to like a VMP situation and say, well, look how this went downhill and everything like that. But we got to take each company, I think, on their own merits, or see if they can do a better job of it. I haven't had any quality control issues that I can think of, and I've bought a fair amount of classic series and tone poets from Blue Note. So as long as nothing changes there, and it doesn't seem like it will, but who knows? But having said that, I'm probably not going to subscribe just because I'm not someone that has to have every title or anything like that. I'm really selective. And to your point, if those they haven't announced all of the quarterly exclusives yet, but hopefully those will be available in the aftermarket. If it's a title that I'm interested in. So yeah, I'm not really mad either way. I guess people that have a horse in the race maybe and have subscribed and been screwed over, obviously they're going to have a different opinion on this. But I think just from someone that does buy the Blue Note records. It seems fair to me. It seems really fair.
Well, the one other thing I'll say too is that as a company, there's there's nothing better than having repeat customers, and no matter what industry you're in or what vertical you're in, everybody wants a subscription style business of some capacity. Even Amazon has a subscription to Prime, which gives you additional benefits to get products off their site. So I think this is a smart move, and I think what's overlooked in this is that the ability for the labels to produce high quality subscription packages and go direct to consumer is just better for those who want for better.
Yeah, I'll just read it because if this is on the podcast. So Record Keeper says labels are here to make money. If they're making money, gonna press more vinyl. If they press more vinyl, better for everyone. I mean, not false. You know what I mean? It's like any business has to make money so they can keep going. And if they can reinvest that in a way that keeps vinyl lovers and music lovers interested and giving them access to this stuff, I mean, it seems like a win-win. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, that's a great comment by the Record Keeper. That's where I'm kind of going with this. And I think that the Tone Poet thing is a little bit different than VMP because you get less the exclusives, you get a full schedule of what you're going to have, so you're not dealing with any mystery. And if you don't want to buy the exclusive, you don't have to if you don't like the title or already have it, whatever the case may be. So I'm for them. I'm for them if I like them and want them.
What do you think, David?
Well, I think I'll wax a little philosophical here. Anything that brings good product to the vinyl community is a good thing, and it's a choice. So
Right.
The only thing that really is bad is when we have bad quality or we have bad customer relations, we have bad selections. I think VMP, part of the issue, and I'm not a subscriber, but I've kind of watched them from afar. And, the person that they had doing their A&R work to acquire a lot of titles, they lost in like 2021 or 2022. And she had already preloaded a lot of what was in the pipeline. And when that went away, I could see the ripple effect of the selections changing. And I think that had an impact on their whole approach. And then put into that then the record plant issue in terms of them thinking they were going to be able to really supercharge the pipeline. From a business perspective, looking at it, it's no surprise to me that they're in the situation they're in. Now, again, it boils down to getting good titles. If Chad didn't have the relationships he had, what could he put out there, right? So it all boils down to that. MoFi's ability with Sony, even though they don't do subscriptions, I've heard they're potentially going to be looking at doing it in the future potentially. So for me, anything that brings options to people and is marketable product that is quality is going to be good for the vinyl community as a whole, if it's done well and done right. When they start to not do it well and not do it right or have issues with customers or whatever, then it tends to put a black eye to the whole idea.
Yep. You're too sensible, David. Jose, you're up, baby.
What was the question?
Oh, come on now.
We asked you on
This guy.
Wednesday.
How dare you?
Uh,
Subscription
uh,
services. Are you do you subscribe to any? What do you think
oh,
about it?
I don't know. Like, I think that there are labels I absolutely love with all my life, but I've never been forced to like one, especially like major labels, because I think like the three big ones, right? Like Sony, Warner, and what will you see be the third one?
Universal.
Universal. Yeah, there you go. They have so many stuff from, especially like if you take Sony, right? They have like offices everywhere, right? So I like a bunch of Argentinian rock that's Sony, but in the US it's a different type of music they release, blah blah blah. And when it comes to like subscription things, I've tried. I was Vinyl Me Please. I've subscribed for like in total like what would be like a year between like 2018 till like this year. I've had subscriptions for what would be like a year's worth of titles, but most of them fucking suck. The titles you get like pulled into getting just to like, because I'll tell you why I hated it. It's because I would get the 3 month thing, and if you don't like a title, they give you the money back for 1 month. So if you are only paying for 1 month, it was like 40 something, right? And if you were paying for 3 months, it was 36. So they give you back $36. But when that record goes live for anyone to buy it, people that are subscribed or not, the fucking record is $45. So now if you regret, you can't even buy the fucking record you didn't want before. So to me, that's like insane. And then, so it becomes like, the record's worth more. And if I get it, great for me. But if I don't get it, anything else, because you get refunded or whatever, $36, and you go to their shop and you're like, oh, I want to buy any record. You can't, because you have to pay more money because the record was more expensive. So I would just say that subscriptions, like for example, I know David is on the Analog Productions one. He doesn't
Yep.
like jazz. I would hate being David and be like, oh fuck, another jazz title. I know he gives them away or keeps them, but no, you know what I mean. Like I would have to like the amount of money that I would need to have per month to not care like that I got titles I hated. It's astronomical. Like I would have to like build houses like Gretel and Hansel, but for like Blue Notes or shit like that. And I would be the fucking witch or something inside. And Bernie
I don't
Grumble.
get
I'll be
not
like,
knowing what the titles are going to be.
yeah, but
I mean,
exactly. But that's the thing. Like for example, talking specifically about Vinyl Me Please, they used to, even this year they used to do like, hey, here's some clues. But now the thing is so shit. They're like, we're gonna tell you like 3 days before January, something like that. So now it's like it's worse for them because now people are like, hey man, like nobody wants those titles, right? And they have fewer things they're pressing, which I thought that having more genres was a good thing, but now there's only three, right? And the
Right.
Dolly Parton one, which you could have caught me dead with that shit, but it's just so amazing to me that there's three different ones now, and if you don't like the three of them, again, you're stuck with less amount of money that you can buy a record for on their website. So I'm like, if it was like a free record or this, like if you could just swap them, which sometimes you can, but they have exclusive color ones or exclusive titles that if you get your money back, even with your membership thing, it's never the same. So you're always like paying more. So I just
Yeah,
know, I just like subscriptions.
I
It's
like
just,
Elliot Cruz. He's like, just bring back Columbia House.
Yeah.
I just yeah.
well, so you're saying
That works
something
for
important
me.
about BMP. Like for a while, it was hard to get for my taste, it was hard to get a bad record for them. They were coming out swinging quite a bit. And then the store exclusives for members used to be phenomenal too. I mean, they used to even sell Analog Productions titles on there back in 2017, 2018, 2019, and that stopped. So even the store exclusives aren't anything appealing for the most part. It's
Yeah,
some random it's a mass release with a color variant. I don't
yeah,
want that. I don't care about
yeah.
that.
Because for example, like MF Doom, I saw their
Yeah,
photo of it first, and I was like, oh, nice, MF Doom. And then they
everybody
did,
had it.
yeah, but then they did like even a cereal box with the actual bowl and the spoon. I was like, great. But again, if you're a jazz head, I think that the jazz ones are pretty great.
They are.
But like I've said, I know this is not the hot take part, or I don't know if it is, but but I will say that my hot take sometimes is that I think the VC is too enamored with reissues, and I don't know. It's just like, because like I've said before, I see people like saying like this Rhino hi-fi sounds like the Lord Jesus Christ made it with his hands out of holy mud, but I've never heard the original one. So I'm like, so this take that I'm hearing, fuck it. I don't want to, like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? So my suggest, because hot take, but I've heard, I've owned some of those Beetle Mono 2014 that David has the box set in the back. They're not that good. But you don't hear that because people are like, if they could bring back George Martin for one last session in heaven, they would. But it's not that good.
But Jose,
So
if your label at, let's say, 500 diehard people that would
mm,
subscribe to everything you put out on a monthly basis, you wouldn't offer a subscription service?
I would, if I was like planning to, because I thought about it. If I'm working with some artists, and the way I would do it, it would be like a subscription, but for one specific artist.
Got it.
And the reason I would do that is because the people that like that artist, it's gonna like it. But if I have to force someone to like a record, like my headache would be people like sending me message like, "Hey man, I'm not looking forward to this record." Because the records I press, I would say like some people are very open to listening to like the non-experimental stuff that I release, but most of the people that don't listen to the experimental part, they don't like the experimental part, you know.
Yep.
Yes, but
Well,
so I think that sometimes I would I would like next year if I could have like a little wish upon a star from reissue labels, is to fucking release something that hasn't been released on vinyl, that hasn't been reissued by Analog Productions in the last 5 6 months or Mo5, and then to stop having like, because I like Mo5 when they release like 30, what is it, 35 $39 releases. I think that's great. But
well, let's get into that. We'll get into that a little bit because I think it's an important topic. Is, are we getting the pressings that are most important? And before we get to the end of the show, we'll ask that question and let everybody go around and answer it. Do a quick mic drop here. Dana, I like what he says. Subscription services, reissues, overproduction, killing the hobby. I like it because, not because it's true necessarily. I don't know if it's true, but I think it's something to maybe consider. Definitely oversaturation is going to be a problem. I don't know if that's happening from subscription services or what, but that's definitely definitely seems like it's an issue for another day. So, all right, let's take this take, and let's jump into the what was the next one we were going to do? Oh, we got to do graded records. Or no, subscriptions. Sorry, we're getting to that. Vinyl is vinyl on the way out.
There you go. There you go.
And maybe this is a good segue, because like Dana says, is that if we're oversaturating, what is that thing? I think I've seen. I was over on the Jazz Bums, kind of looking at their video of the Tone Poets series subscription and all of that, and they had people in the comment section that were saying things like, "Well, this is a clear sign that things are going under." I don't know that I see it that way. I don't know, and I'm interested to get your guys' takes on this. Maybe Dave, we'll start with you. Is there any sense that things are going downhill right now, outside of fake news or the potential of fake news? And is subscription services tied into that in any way, you think?
I think things have flattened out. I mean, I think we were all on a little bit of a sugar rush with the pandemic, of course, and everything. And I think things have flattened out. Some places, I've seen a few record stores close down. I've seen a few open up. I think things are just finding their place. I don't see a lot of activity toward new record pressing plants now as well. I think we've got that capacity issue dealt with. But I think the question is, are the consumers there? And I think the thing that I will say is I think some of the younger people who got into it big time have faded a bit because they kind of get interested and then interested in something else. So I think it could be that because of us older people getting older and fading away, we're big consumers of the product too. Look at the analytics of who watches our shows and all that too, right? So I think just there could be some attrition because of that. That's what I think is the reality.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think, Jay? You have any? What's your take on this? Is
Sure,
vinyl on the way out, or
Please let it be on the way out so I can buy those hot records for $1 again. Please.
There you go.
Please. There you go. That's my hot take.
That's your take?
Let me buy that Stooges Funhouse for $5 again, please.
Yes.
But
But
yeah, no, I get that. I mean,
Stooges for $5.
if you're a collector, I mean, obviously that's kind of what. I don't know, but is it a double-edged sword, or is there enough stuff in the community now where we just where do we go from here with the pressings, right? It's like if things just shut down right now and they didn't press another record until the end of time and everyone just got out, as a collector, are you good with that? Is there anything that, because I know there's a comment earlier that I tend to agree with, which is a healthy community, it's good for everybody. If sales are good and there's a lot of hype in the community and stuff like that, it's going to hurt sellers, obviously, right? Because then it's like a lot of people, record stores will start closing down and all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of like the balance. I know, Jay, you're like, who cares?
I'm the king of the. I'll be king of the record nerds once again. Right? You want the OG? Pay up. I'll get a. Please pay up. I'll have 2 full rack of ribs for OG Stooges. That would be great. Franklin's Barbecue only.
What about you, Chris? Are we on the way out? Are we in a dumpster fire, just waiting to happen?
I don't know. I think we are to a certain extent, but the people like us aren't going anywhere. I think that you need more people like us to really kind of cement the attrition that Dave mentioned. I will say this: the last record store day I went to last year, my daughter and I went, and we couldn't even get in the building, and I felt like an old man there, and I'm only 40. The whole line was youth. Yeah, the whole line was youth, just wrapped around the building. So that was a sign of. That's one example, right? I do think it's expensive. I do think it's expensive for a kid in high school or college or coming out of college to pick up the hobby. And it's not like you're just going to buy one record for your turntable. You guys know how this goes, right? So I hope it's not on the way out, because I don't want to have this this great run we're having of reissues and interesting things coming out and new artists pressing their stuff on vinyl for the first time in a long time. That's an important piece. It's nice for my daughter to go to the record store and buy a Taylor Swift album. You know, she got that experience, and I think that's really important for a kid to have that connection. But
can I just comment on that real quickly? Is that, like, you said something really important, which is something that I think about a lot. Are all the things we're talking about, right? These subscription services, the UHQRs that are $150 a piece, like all of that stuff is not serving the youth in the community. And as long as we ignore them, then it's like we are doomed. I mean, everyone's just going to fall off the edge of the planet at some point, and then there's going to be no one left to buy this stuff. My question has been, how do we connect young people again? Or does it even matter? Do we just ride this thing out into the sunset and then eventually everything just goes away and these things just become artifacts? Or is there a future where the young people take it and run with it? Because even if you want to say young people buy vinyl now, it's not enough, right? It's not enough to keep this thing going once the next 1 or 2 generations are gone.
Well, first off, the kid that's into Steely Dan, I'd like to hang out with them and keep on influencing them. So that's a great thing. But even if they're not buying that UHQR, they can finally get an affordable reissue for $25 or $30 that was produced at the same time. I'll tell you what does bother me about the youth exploitation is that Taylor Swift puts out 4 versions of her last record, 4 different covers and 1 different track on each version. And I think that's a problem because now a fanatic who's, you know, a kid who's into that might go get those 4 records and not get 3 other albums that they might be interested in too because they have a budget restraint or whatever the case may be. I think you appeal to the youth by making it accessible and not having such a snobbery about the VC sometimes. I think that there are different types of consumers. There are the audiophile consumer, there's a reissue consumer, there's people who only want to hunt down originals which are very expensive right now because of the way that the hobby's changed. But keeping things accessible for people who want to get into the hobby and not telling them that their pressing sucks or their equipment isn't good enough or whatever the case may be, that's going to be the big downfall, I think, where it becomes this exclusive club and then it just absolutely corrupts essentially.
So you hate VC gatekeepers. Is that what you're saying?
There's no room for gatekeepers.
Yeah, I don't love it, and I just want people to remember how they started at one point. Because a lot of people that came into the hobby didn't know who Chad Kassem was, and now all of a sudden everything Chad does, and I love his label, and I buy a lot of his stuff. Everything he does is the gold standard. Well, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have the music on your shelf if you can't get that copy, and you shouldn't berate somebody for it. You know, Rojas, we talked about this at one point offline. Yeah, the OG sounds better, but economically, this one that's almost as good is a better fit for some people, and that's fine.
Yes. Especially when the option is listening to Spotify on your earbuds or whatever. So go ahead, Jose.
I will say that something that I think, a bit of a hot take, but I think one of the reasons a lot of people have, I like I've said before in this show, I think this was a great year for vinyl. I think this was at least on my eyes, my collecting and for my label and for other friends' label and bands that I know, independent artists I know, I think they sold more this year than last year or the year before. I think 2020, 2021 was super good. I think 2022, 23 was mild in like stuff like that. But I will say that something that this year that I would like to change next year is I think a lot of people here in the VC that collect like looking at videos, like getting reviews and all that, but some are getting influenced on buying stuff that they don't actually give a fuck. So they spend their money on stuff they don't like, they don't know if they like, they don't sample it, and they end up having a record they paid. I know it's not like extremely expensive, something that's $30 for most people here, but it's like just You know, I think there's too many reissues of the same titles. Too many people blindly buying something because this guy said it was good, that guy said it was good. So I've been using Discogs, my old account, because like I got blocked by Discogs, the other account. Made it in 2006, 2007, and I'm really proud that I learned how to use it. I used to go to a band, right, and I would be like clicking on artists and see what else they played in, and I would get curious, you know. So I think that most people in the VC sometimes they get bored or they become like in a halt that they don't want to buy anything else, but it's mostly because they keep going to the same places or they don't do enough self exploration or self thought. It just doesn't matter. You don't have to buy anything and everything just for FOMO. Just get what you want. Doesn't matter if the next person doesn't like it. I also don't like gatekeeping. Yes, I trash a bunch of stuff that I like, but that's the whole point. To me, it's like be open about what you like and what you don't like. And if somebody has similar taste in you, that's great, but still listen to it. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, pirate it. I don't give a fuck. I'll probably do, but just don't.
Well, I think you say, like you said, a mouthful about that. There's people out there that are kind of just buying where they're directed to buy instead of investigating further. These are the people whose records are going to end up in the community, and Jason's just going to snag them up and then sell these when the vinyl community spikes, when the vinyl economy, I guess, spikes again. But yeah, no, it's I don't see it as being something that's if it tanks and it eventually, I think you guys are right. I mean, it's leveling out, right? We just went through the pandemic. We had a massive spike. Everything did. Every kind of collectible too, or commodity like, comic books and trading cards and all of that stuff. So yeah, things are starting to level out a bit and things will get back to, being sane again. So we'll see. We'll still be here. Like Chris said, we'll see what happens. We're either going to take advantage of all these records that come back into the community or who knows. So I did throw up a poll, guys. If it makes sense, I said hottest take. Pick your hottest take. Subscription services or vinyls on the way out. Which one is the hottest take? So you guys can throw up your opinions there.
I think Rojas is chomping at the bit. I could see Rojas wanting to come in.
Go ahead, do the drop mic, Rojas.
I just need to answer Vinyl Piper here. Can you find his comment? He's asking, can you explain why mastering engineers are so popular instead of the album's engineer? I don't get it. Well, hot take. Some VC people hype up mastering engineers like it's I mean, they're not the only ones. Like, the company will hype it up. I mean, that's why it's on a hype sticker.
They put them on the sticker now.
On a thing. It's a selling point. That's all. It has nothing to do with the music and reality. I mean, maybe they'll make it sound better, but I don't know. Watch my video. Listen to this Cure record where I compare a Bernie Grunman, Brian Lucy versus the Half Speed by Miles Showell, and you'll find out both sound like crap, like poop.
They both sound
Well, I want to clarify for you guys, of course, in Vinyl Piper, Chris, you probably know it too. There's a big difference between the recording engineer and a mastering engineer. One puts together all the pieces from the multi-track, and the other lays it into the vinyl. So there is, comparing the two is a little bit of a false equivalence.
The difference is one gets laid, the other one doesn't.
What are you saying about Bernie? No.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the poll didn't come up. Okay.
I don't see a poll.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the poll came up. So, yeah, I'm
it
sorry
came up
about
on
that,
yours.
Guys. Yeah,
right?
because we're multicasting. It's coming up on mine. I'm sorry about that, guys.
It's not very Polish.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. So
actually,
I know most people aren't seeing the poll.
It kind of is Polish.
It is. Yes, I know. You got it.
All right. Let's get into the full court press if we can. And we'll throw up a silent feel free to put say whatever you want to over this silent little graphic. Full court press. Or say it with the echo.
FCP.
Full court press. All right. Full court press. What is full court press? Full court press is just kind of getting deeper into a topic and just getting deeper into a topic in the VC. So what we're covering today, oh man, I got 3 different things I got to show. So here we go. So this one, I want to get into graded and encapsulated records. Is this big business? Will this affect the vinyl economy in a good way or a positive way? And I have a little visual aid here. Let me throw it up. So this is actually from February, and I kind of missed it because, and I don't know how many people have already seen this, but I was covering this stuff last year when I first started seeing the graded stuff come in, and then go through these channels like Heritage Auctions and stuff, and then I kind of fell asleep for a while and haven't really been tracking it. But for today's show, I wanted to do a little bit of research. Here is a record that sold in February 24, one that everyone knows and loves, of course. This is Yesterday and Today, Butcher cover, sealed. That is got graded as a 9.0 and sold for, there it is, $112K. So it's getting kind of crazy. So just quickly, Beatles Yesterday and Today, sealed mono, first date with Butcher cover, LP vinyl, record, capital, slabbed and graded 9.0. But in February sold for $112,500. So I thought, that's interesting. Things that make you go, And I talked about it a little before in the past of just like slabbing these things have been commanding significantly more money. And I was, some of the ones that I was looking at when I did my video a year ago were 10x. You were getting 10x for a slabbed and graded record over what that same record in the same condition, whether it's sealed or whatever it is, equal condition, that you would get on Discogs or eBay, graded, you could 10x your money. So I'm curious to know what people think about this, if they think anything about it. We did talk about the New York record show where it seemed like the grading companies were getting no love, right? People were just ignoring them. But then somewhere, people are having these graded and commanding big bucks. So what do you think, Chris? Why don't you go? And when Jason comes back, we'll get him in here. But Chris, what do you think about this, man?
Well, I don't own one sealed record, first off.
And it doesn't have to be sealed, just to be clear.
Oh, it doesn't have to be
They'll
sealed.
grade unsealed records.
Okay. I think this is foolish. The only time I can see this have value is if there was 6 copies left of the Beatles Yesterday and Today from the first pressing run, and we wanted to conserve an artifact, and you wanted to protect it and give it a rating. This isn't like grading collecting cards where you can still look at the card and see the card and experience the card. You're basically putting a record in a slab never to be touched again. And I just don't understand it. And what I don't understand about grading the sealed is how could you possibly know that the record inside is in good shape, doesn't have a manufacturing defect, it doesn't have a warp, actually plays like it's mint or near mint or VG plus, whatever grading you want to give it. I just putting a record in a capsule in general, even if it's just in the sleeve it came in and never playing it, is a pet peeve of mine as it is. I just can't see this how this has any value except for being an artifact for collectors.
Right.
It's a micro niche within a niche.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the baseball cards, the coins, those are delicate things that aren't supposed to be handled. Records meant to be played. Even if you have a very good copy of this, maybe you won't play it, but not to have the opportunity to put it on, to show it off, or to listen to it once in a while. It just is a maddening aspect to it for me. And I think if you start seeing graded records drive up in price, I would assume that records that aren't graded in good condition are going to drive up in price too. So there's that artificial creation of scarcity because these records just aren't available to be played and listened to. You can collect them, you can put them in a safe box somewhere, but I'm not really sure of the value.
I like Easy Now does say the price is for the cover mostly, right? So that makes sense. Like people aren't. If you have a sealed yesterday and today, if you have this record in your collection, are you actually going to cut the shrink on this and listen to it?
Well,
Yes.
well, I will say for this title, that's a piece of shit garbage compilation. So it doesn't know who the fuck's gonna listen to that record. It's just for the cover. I myself think slabbing is bizarre, but I think that just as anything that gets slabbed, there are exceptions to the rule. Like I was actually thinking of slabbing a record that I have for my label because I was like, well, you know what? It'll be nice and interesting to have like a test pressing, slab away, preserve, because I have all their copies of it. So something, but I wouldn't fucking pay for what they want for slabbing a record. But when there's stuff like this, that it's like
Posterity.
but nobody cares about the record because you can get that same record without that cover and listen to it
Right.
for extremely cheap. But I will say, like other people pointed out, Dana put it up as well. I think somebody that didn't really knew what it was for 100% bought that because it's a what is it? Is it a stereo or a mono? I can't see. But
It's a mono.
all right. So I mean, it's just there's hierarchy between like stuff like that. This person overpaid a lot. I sometimes think it's like laundering money or something like that. Like, why the fuck they buy this for that much money? But
like Jeff stole my thunder. He says slabbing is about investing and doesn't have anything to do with the actual thing.
Can you
right?
actually open it? Because if it was like something like a record that didn't press a lot, right? And you can have one preserved for like being open in 50 years, I'll be like, hey man, that's a great idea, right? Maybe they should just fucking sell the plastic things where you can put the fucking record, right? And then you can put it in there and fart the whole way to your death. And when somebody picks up the record from your wife, you're like, hey.
How much will they pay to slab this? Will they grade it too? Graded 1 point? No.
Hold on. Let me.
You don't have to make me big. You don't have to do that. We'll just. How much would they pay? How much would I pay to slab this? All right. And what would they grade this? Come on, let's do the panel. Spins. Grade this.
So what? You mean how much would that sell for if you put it on Heritage graded?
Sure. And what would they grade it?
Oh well, they're going to grade that a 0.5 maybe or a 1. Well, no. You know what though? So here's the thing. Let me.
I'm going to say this. If I throw this in the humdinger, it's going to be VG plus.
Well, here's the thing about that particular thing, right? Which has 3 different variations, and that's a variation 2, right?
Yes. We would call this like, between a second and a third, not even like.
So I wonder about that though. If it's assumed that those are going to be peeled, right? So does that factor into the grading? Not that that's your question, but I do wonder about that. That's going to go for a lot less, right? Look how pretty. Let me throw it back up, if I can. There it is. Look how pretty that record is, guys. That's a 9.0 right there, sealed.
But the one
the other question is, sorry, go ahead.
If you went and paid someone to unpeel it, it might look like that, because it's just the cover and something else. So maybe Jason could be getting a $112,000 check somewhere.
I was gonna say, I hope you guys screenshot that records because when that ends up on Heritage Auctions, Jay, I'm coming for you.
just think about wait till vinyl collapses. How much this is going to go to? It's going to go from 112 to 1,500. It's going to
so that's the thing,
what?
Right?
Come on, This was mastered by Kevin Gray. I said so. Therefore, you must believe me. Okay? Come on now. Come on.
Well, and I think
how many records besides this title is this collectible in good condition from an artifact standpoint? That's the other thing.
Yeah. Well, this is the new baseball cards and comic books, right? I mean, this is a rookie Mickey Mantle that someone is going to keep in a safety deposit box. It's there so that their kids can retire off it unless everything tanks, right?
Yeah, but you can't open them. So again, my thing is, somebody out there listening to me right now will say, "Hey, maybe that brown bag of dog shit has something right in his mouth." Somebody should invent those boxes, sell it individually, and then people can, in their right mind, be like, "Hey, I bought this record. I'm going to put it in this box and not open it, but it can be opened." Because for me, a 9.0 on that record is great, but you can't ever play it. So
Yeah, but I guess that's the point that some people are trying to make, and I think is that it's not meant to be played at this point. This is a stock now. This is an investment. This is like buying gold or silver. I mean, it just goes and has some prestige to it, right? You can hang it on the wall. You can make a video about it. People can come look at it. You can take it around to all the different fairs and show it off while it's encased in like a bulletproof safe or whatever. And that's kind of what this is now, right? This isn't like someone's going to buy this and well, they might, cut it open just to make a point and listen to it. But
well, that's my joke. If I get this slabbed, I mean, and we display it, what kind of reaction would this get?
I'll make that video with you, Jay.
Can you pay Mr. What is it? Beatles Sticker Mania to peel
Sticker
it
Mania.
off?
Yeah. Oh, well, I actually thought about reaching out to him and saying, like, what can we do with this? Can you work the magic? Can you extract it?
The cover you want is underneath, so even if the one outside looks like crap, there shouldn't be any problems with the other one if done correct.
Yeah, you got to do it right? Is there any evidence of it peeling the undercover at this point, Jay? Or?
It already has, yeah.
Okay,
if you look at poor Paul's, brain here,
Okay, hold on, let me see.
They went too deep.
Ringo looks like crap on that one.
They went too deep,
That's where you get a hangnail and then you cut it too low and it's like, ah.
I mean, that's why Paul is like, his mouth is open, right? They went too deep on the butcher. They were trying to find a fourth state butcher here.
It is like up to the.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see that? Yeah.
He's like, that's what you get. Should have left it alone.
So can anybody think of a couple of other titles that would fetch this value if they were a 9.0 slab? I would like it maybe like an early
the John Lennon signed the day he died record.
That's different.
Double
That's
fantasy.
different. That's one of that's
Oh,
one
you
of
mean
like a specific, like maybe like an early 78 of some sort in pristine condition, or
maybe like a sealed Velvet Underground first edition or something like that.
Okay.
I don't even know if they exist. I've never heard of that.
Without the peel.
Yeah. No, like on Shrink. I don't know if it ever came
Shrink.
out.
Yeah.
Probably did.
Music Annals. If any record should be slabbed, it's The Butcher. And that brings up, and maybe this is kind of the last thing we get into before we move into the second half of the show, is are there records that ought to be sealed or that, what would be your... Is it just we never seal anything, nothing should be sealed, we shouldn't be trying to archive these things or preserve them or anything like that? Or is this a case, now obviously 112K when we lead with the sale price, but if you're just in it for the archival piece of it, is there some validity here? Is this service serving some kind of community or serving the vinyl community in some way in preservation?
I do have some records that I have sealed because I already own another version of that I know are like extremely rare and that are records that I've never seen another one of. that I just get, you know. But I mean, but that's a very niche situation, you know. But I think everybody should open all the records unless they have like a double for some reason, you know. There's something like that. Oh, there you go, David with the.
I know David's trying to step
Wait,
up, you know,
David,
step
wait.
up. Whatever.
Oh, hold on, Dave. Let me make you big, dude. I want to see
Real
that.
deal.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Got the original price tag on it of
Well, let's
$6.90.
give us a close look.
What?
Give us a close look.
That fall would have kicked someone in the groin right away.
Hang on here.
Have you ever listened to that record, like in general?
In general, oh yeah.
But I mean, like specifically that one.
No, this one's sealed.
Yeah, you
Oh,
You know,
wow, it
you
is.
have $110,000 in your
Can you
hand.
slap
What are
it?
you
Can
doing?
you slap it just for joy?
I can't. It's smeared. I can't read the. It just says sale price on it. It doesn't say the number. I'm trying to see why.
Well, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it, but
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't.
yeah, I pulled
Just-
this
yeah,
out of
no,
my.
take it-
I pulled this out of my
You
safe.
were holding it like a Russian lady grabs a baby.
And she enjoyed it. No,
Yeah.
Well, dang, there you go, man. Right there, you got 112 in your like Chris said.
Are you going to get it slabbed?
I don't know. That option wasn't in front of me when I, thought about it. But now that you guys are talking about it, I thought about it.
So Boot Trader says, how do you know those are original seals? Those were sealed a little bit differently, right? It's pretty. Is it easy to kind of tell a fake seal on those, David?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shinier seal, almost.
And it's the oversized kind of
Yeah, and
deal.
it's a
that
little
they
bit
have.
oversized. Yes.
It's food.
Yeah, a little bit oversized.
Yeah, Dana says, don't leave your door unlocked, David.
Oh shit.
Back in the safe.
Yeah, I know.
Well, here's one other question on this. Let's say Dave is I'm assuming it's a first press. It's in similar condition. Does that drive the one's price that's currently up down because now there's two available?
It would have to, right?
Right?
Well, yes, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of there are out there, right?
It probably depends on the grade.
For example, I would say like Breakfast King of Loyola. He just bought a record that I bought, which normally goes for like $400, and then a online record store that I work with and I buy records from called Soundnum. They got a box of almost 100 records, new old stock, sealed records, and now they sold it for $30-$40. So the prices went from $400 to $40. So I think that's always a possibility. I know people that come across boxes of stuff, permanent records. They love keeping like one per time that they put out, and then because if not, the market would like. So if in 20 years somebody comes across that Ringo Starr had, like 1,000 Butcher records, and then when Rob buys them from his cold hands and he starts selling them, the prices might go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was dropping what do you call that?
Philosophical with Jose, right? Vinyl philosophical with Jose.
It's been a long day.
Well, and I wasn't expecting that out of David either, man. He just goes right to it. Here I show the most expensive record. I shouldn't say that, but this crazy rare thing, and he just goes, "Oh, I have one of those."
Well, I didn't think about it until I got back from a trip to Europe, and I started looking at what I had, and what happened, guys, is when I was young, I had a record player, and it would ruin records. So I would buy 2 or 3 copies of a record when it came out. And so I had a group of original Beatles stuff that I had unsealed copies of. And I put a couple kids through college with some of that money when I
Wow.
sold it.
Wow.
So, but it was only because of the poor quality of my record player that I did something like that.
You know, I would love to know what type of setup Paul McCartney has, because I know for a fact that Ringo has like a Crossley. He doesn't give a fuck about that shit.
Probably.
But right? But they probably do have like I'm pretty sure. I don't. I mean, it's Ringo. You know what I mean? He's busy, like he's unloving everyone. But it'll be interesting, you know. I think they probably do have like very rare stuff just in a box somewhere, labeled like John's stuff, right? And it's all like, I don't know, pieces of shit he shat one day.
There you go, Jay. Sticker Mania sold several peeled butchers for tens of thousands. So the 38 cents that you paid for that thing originally, man, you can
To a collector in
you
Mexico.
can clean up.
You know, funny enough, one of the biggest people that have money here and live in this town where I live, he watches Rachel's, but I don't never know his name, his what do you call it? His online name.
His handle or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, his handle. So shout out to him if he's around here. Maybe that's the guy who's buying the records. I don't know.
The good thing for Dave is if he sells that Butcher cover, he can subscribe to every subscription for the next decade.
And
And
for
then-
all of you guys as well.
Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
At least leave me $1 on the will.
Yeah.
Please. At least $1. I no, but I think yeah. For example, I would suggest David slabbing in the sense that, or getting my alternative that I said. If somebody out there can have one of those slabbing things without any information on top, but that you could actually just put yourself on, you know, and leave it there.
I have.
You have something like that? I don't know if it exists. I'm just talking
So,
on my ass. Normal.
This right here is a hard case.
Oh, all
It's,
right.
it's like a
Yeah.
top loader. You
Yeah.
might want
Well, that's
even
what-
something like that, David, would be a little bit more protection from like dinging up
Sure.
corners and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, like
Yeah,
I
the
said,
guy-
I haven't had it out in a long time.
yeah.
but-
Well, I'm sorry. We probably lost you like 50K just now, just from handling it one
I
extra
think-
time.
I think if somebody did invented a slabbing type box where people did, because first of all, I think all the slabbing thing don't even fucking fit your calyx or whatever you have, right? So there's a problem right there to begin. Like fuck that. Where are you gonna keep that shit? You know?
Yeah.
It's true. So
It's true. It's a practical take.
Yeah. So if somebody can have one that they could fit, like maybe this tiny bit, no information on the top. Maybe you could have like
Or just real small along the top or something, the top edge.
yeah, and
maybe.
then you could put like a paper on the bottom, like just slip it in. You could
Yeah.
put like info, like where you bought it, if it's sealed, blah blah blah, information. They don't have to open it, but if you had to open it, you could. Because again, I don't see the only reason I like the slabbing thing, it's because of the rigid box.
Yeah.
But the actual fact that you can't open it or whatever, because imagine if you can have a slabbing case that you can open, that could mean like when you bought it, it was sealed. When it was unsealed, if it was such a grail that you need, you could put like a little information like I opened it this year and I played it this day.
Well, but I mean, now you're talking about you. There's the problem is you can open it and then take it out and put a facsimile inside of it or something, or another pressing, and then say like, "Oh, look, this is a Butcher original Butcher."
I'm saying like a box, and then you can have like something
Not
like,
graded. You're saying.
No. Just like the library card thing situation
Yeah.
where you could put like stuff on it and date it And
Yeah. I gotcha.
think that would be-
That's what Henry Rollins does. Henry Rollins, when you
Yeah.
hear him talking about his collection, he actually notes on the sleeve like, this is what I played when I played it. This is what I thought. When he listens to it again, he puts that date down. He writes down his opinions, and he does like a kind of like a journal on that experience with that record.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to hear about.
Yeah, I think something like that would work way better than, because again, it's like, David has this record that it's only going to go up in value, and maybe you need a little more protection, but you like just paying like a lot of money to keep a record sealed, because like who knows, like if David one day decides like, hey man, I need a little money, I want to buy a boat and go like whatever, he can do that, and the guy that buys it, he can open it if he wants, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, but if you slab it, the other person can't open it, so it just becomes this like, it's not a record anymore, it's something to stare at. And again, they're heavy, so you're gonna put it in the wall, you can probably like fucking crash and rip, and then now
You might break your foot with it. Yeah.
you can kill a cat with that shit. So like what's the whole problem with that,
Jeez, he goes right to the killing cats, dude.
Yeah, well, there should be an option. There should be like a middle ground,
Well, I was going to throw a poll asking people what they thought about it. I think everyone gave us their takes. And since I can only run a poll on my channel, it doesn't really help. So, all right. So let's go. We'll try to be nice to Chance. We're at an hour and 7. So let's jump into side 2, or we're at side B now, I guess. So, but we'll jump into part 2, hour 2 of our programming with a little game. I guess it's a game. A new one called Rate It or Hate It.
Rate it or hate it.
Rate it or hate it.
Yeah, that was.
There we go. That was ultimate. Right there.
All right. So rate it or hate it, guys. Here we go. So here's the list. Let me throw up the little banner now. So we're talk about like the Cure's new album a little bit. And we don't have to go too deep on this stuff. This is just kind of a rate it or hate it. Give it a grade. Talk about why, or maybe you hate it and it doesn't even deserve a grade. Miles Davis is getting a new reissue for the outtakes called Birth of the Blue. Chris can probably speak most intelligently about this one. And then we got the Steely Dan UHQR series, which we can get into a little bit. Looks like they have 7. Rate it or hate it. And then we can talk about holiday music and then Black Friday RSD. So if you guys don't mind, we'll start with the Cure. Rate it or hate it. Let's just go around the horn, man. Jason, rate it or hate it?
Rate it or hate it? Oh no. I
Hated
enjoyed this actually. I enjoyed it. I mean, despite the mastering confusion, like very confusing. Why have Bernie Grunman on one? Why have Miles Showell? Why have one half speed? Why have one non-half speed? This is ludicrous. I still enjoy this record actually. The B-side on this record is solid, I mean, drone, no drone, like The Cure doing like funk rock. I mean, believe it or not, great.
I don't want to keep hearing about drone, no drone, dude. To me, it's like that's the one freaking song that's listenable on that record. That's my
the whole
hot take.
B-side. The whole B-side's great, man. I don't know.
All right. So what do you give it? 1 out of 10, what do you give that thing?
I give this because of the confusion of the mastering, I give this a solid 7.
A 7. And only the mastering debacle's holding it back.
Oh yes, of course. Like the fact that my friend and I, like, we went to the store and we bought the last copies, and then I was confused, like, marbled copy, Miles Showell, what the hell is this crap, But
all right, Cesar says best album of the year, hands down. So Music in the House wants to know, I think everybody wants to know who's interested in that, which is the best pressing? And it sounds like there's a little controversy.
I would say, Paul, none of these are good. To be honest, I didn't know. Like, I actually, when I did my video and like listened to them, I was a bit like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what is this? You know, I've heard the Atmos, the digital is the best sounding, but I would have to
title.
get that. Yeah,
The title.
I would
The title.
title.
Master is the best.
really, that one's the best. Oh my gosh, man.
And what does that cost you? That's a subscription, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. You have to have a
Yeah.
subscription. So I don't know if a lot of people in the VC will stream it because you have to have a membership to a service to get it. But
All right, Jay, there you heard it. All right, what about, go ahead, Chris. What are your thoughts on this?
well, this is my copy, which I still haven't replaced because I got a warped, destroyed version. I like it. I'm just happy they made another album, and I had low expectations, and it exceeded those low expectations. I do agree with Rojas. The B side, as the album moves on, the second half of it's really awesome. So I certainly don't hate it, but I'm not going to listen to it again in 3 months for a long time, probably. So it's not going to be a mainstay in the rotation, but it's a good record. It's a Cure record. You should be happy that it's still coming out. They're still putting out music.
Yeah.
Right, you should be glad it ain't this record. All right, you should be glad it ain't this record. Jose's favorite, like Miss Jug's record.
Where is
Okay.
Jose?
You know, this is like a two out of 10.
What record is that, Jay, for the people listening in?
This is Katy Perry's latest record. You know,
All right.
man, yikes.
You spent money on that?
You know, mastered by Bernie Grunman, believe it or not. You know, not covered by the VC. You know, flew over their radar. You
So
know?
do
Was
you
it on the
judge a
hype
record
record?
by its mastering only? It's like you
Right,
don't
right.
judge a book by its cover, but you do judge a record by its mastering engineer.
In this case, it's masturbator. Oh, no.
Oh man!
Oh.
Ba-dum-bum. All right, David, what are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on this Cure album? You must.
Well, I streamed it. I thought it was pretty good. One thing I noticed, it seemed pretty self introspective. I guess I would say the material seemed that way to me. And the other thing I noticed, and maybe this, I mean, I'm not a big Cure person, but it seemed like all the songs had very long instrumental intros.
Yeah.
I mean, extremely long, 2 minutes plus before they ever got to any lyrics. Is that their deal?
Yeah, it is. That's their style. Yeah.
That's your style. Okay. Cause that was
The
caught me a
question
little
is,
bit
are
off
those
guard.
2-minute intros good?
Yeah. No, they were
Oh,
good.
boy.
They were good. But I literally had to slide down on Spotify and say, are there lyrics down here? Oh yeah, there's lyrics. Okay.
All instrumental.
Yeah. But no, I liked it. I actually thought it was pretty good. And I agree. I think as it went on, the songs got better and better. So I would definitely agree with that. But yeah, I'm not a big Cure person, but I found it enjoyable.
Okay. Jose, you're up, baby. What do you think of the Cure album? And be honest.
I plead the fifth.
You're pleading the fifth. See? I knew it. I knew you were sensible.
I know I haven't listened to it, but it's I just don't have the interest.
No interest.
No.
All right. Well, in that case, why don't you go first on the you get I know you're going to be interested in the next topic, which is Miles Davis, Birth of the Blue, which is I guess we call them outtakes. I don't know. These are alternate takes from the Kind of Blue album that are now all being compiled into one record and is supposed to sound great audiophile, which I think is already sold out, so you can't really get one unless you already pre-ordered it for $40. But any thoughts on this?
I haven't listened to a single track of that, but I
Hasn't
will
come out yet.
I will say yes. Yeah, but like they were asking me about it. I don't know why then.
I know, because I think the material has been out before, though. This is now it's just being compiled into this record.
Well, I will say
and will
that-
you are you even interested in a Miles Davis record? I guess is the bigger question.
Yes, for example, I will say that I am not a big Bitches Brew fan, but I think the B-sides that are pretty good. They came out as a CD first, and that box set that looks like somebody made it in LSD. But then they released it as a Record Store Day exclusive thing where they release all the outtakes, and I think those are good. But I don't like Kind of Blue, so I wouldn't be able to,
Okay.
I guess if you're 40 and white, you're probably very excited.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we'll keep the train rolling. What do you think, David, on this one?
Well, as you guys probably know, I'm not a jazz person, and I think another version of any type of kind of blue should have been the birth of kind of black and blue, because it seems like we've been beaten pretty badly with a lot of this material. I mean, it's just how much more is going to be extracted out of this? It just feels like I don't know. This is one where it's just like the material just keeps coming and oozing out. That's just.
Miles Davis is so dead, but so busy in the auto.
Yeah, and I mean he's the most. Yeah, I mean there's so many versions, and a kind of blue in terms of pressings and everywhere, and it's just like just when you thought there wasn't going to be another high quality bootleg, you get this. So it's like.
So you're saying it's a cash grab?
Well, I'm saying it sells, and this 1,000 are sold out, because I know people who got their email that said, "I know you tried to buy it, but we don't have any more." So all I can say is it's working, and people are buying it. So who am I to say?
I think it would have been again because they've done Miles David B-sides on Record Store Day. I think this should have been a Record Store Day release. Not an audiophile release. What the fuck? But that's just.
Well, the fact that it's so limited and it's already sold out too.
Whoever gets the license, man. It's whoever gets the license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Jay.
I just want to say those three tracks on the record, they're on this record. Okay, so you don't. If you miss the blue vinyl, I don't know, man. Just buy this one from '59. Come on now, like. I know it's not the audiophile version mastered by whoever, King Tut. I don't know, man. But this is the same thing. And it even like the A side has his better tracks, Elevator to the Gallows. That, man. Chris, should I go get that? Should I show that?
Oh, that's the old Joan of Arc thing. Yeah.
Man.
Well, is
that a phone or an iPad? That was a weird shape. What is it?
Yeah, I know.
Either a big phone or a small iPad, one or the other.
A phone or an iPad.
This is an iPad Mini.
Yeah. Chris, you're up, baby.
You're the guy.
Okay. So
this was made just for you.
This was made just for me. So I'm going to say this. If you don't like Miles Davis or don't care, you're not going to want it. But if this was a Dylan outtake session, a Beatles outtake session, some psychedelic band from another country that Jose's really into and turning us on to, you guys would be drooling over this. Like I'm drooling over this now. Now, I'm not going to go find that 1950 reissue of Elevator to the Gallows in good condition that's going to appease me. And if it is in good condition, it's not going to be $40. I am also a bit of a Miles Davis completist, and I understand that 3 out of the 4 tracks have been put on CD box sets elsewhere. But this is a benefit of being a subscriber to Analog Productions A75 series. I did not get shut out, so I'll be getting my copy on black, and I will be putting it in the humdinger, and I will send a video to Rojas that it's getting queued up, and it's going to hit the turntable, and it's going to hit the turntable multiple times, and it's going to go on the shelf. So when I go to my Miles collection, I know I have it.
But
this is my response to Chris. There he is.
I'm psyched about this.
Have you bought your diaper yet? So when the record arrives, you can, absolutely crap your
Come on now.
I put a tarp. So in my listening area right behind me, I actually have a tarp on my couch. Anytime Chad puts something out, that tarp goes down.
Those like dog.
I drop the needle, and I just rejoice, because if you don't buy it now, you're going to cry later, and I'm going to have a copy on my shelf. This is the thing. This is the thing, right? This is the sessions leading up to Kinda Blue. This is a behind the curtains peek into what was about to come. It is an historical artifact. This is far worse than having the Butcher cover slabbed and put up on a wall somewhere. This isn't worse than that. This is something that if you're into Miles, it's a good thing. And if it is a Record Store Day release, the same thing's going to happen. They're going to make 1,500 copies of a crappy pressing that's warped and scuffed and beat up, and people are going to resell it for 4 times the value 2 weeks after it comes out anyway. So this is just another. I think if Acoustic Sounds or Analog Productions wasn't doing this, then no one would really have a problem with it. But I think as they're doing it, everybody's up in arms that it's a cash grab.
Listen, man.
Uh oh. He's gonna start channeling somebody. All right. Well, since we got you, we'll do the whole.
Oh, Concert Buddy didn't get one?
No.
I know I didn't get it either. I didn't know it was going to be so tough to get. Otherwise, I would have. I'm not much of a pre-order person. I like to wait, and that's how I screw myself because I end up not getting records that sell out. But
maybe Concert Buddy can get your replacement record when it arrives.
Oh man,
That's a
your
possibility.
unnumbered copy. Are they going to make unnumbered copies? Is that
Yes.
coming?
But
Yeah,
here's
they're
the
going to
other
have
thing.
unnumbered to 1,000 in black vinyl.
Yeah. And here's the other
Well, I'll
thing,
be there
David.
for that.
Maybe you could speak
Better
to this a
get
little bit more intelligently than I can. But the fact that they're getting the license for that title, isn't that a sign of other things that might come after that? They're not just going to license
Well,
that.
I know. Chat's gonna come, but
Like, can't you see this as kind of a start of a relationship of something going forward? Because right now those Sony
What is that,
Columbia titles
Sony?
are really restricted to MoFi and Impex, right?
but he already did kind of blue.
He's already done kind of blue.
Well, he's on kind of blue. I know that. Of course, I have the UHQR because I'm a worshiper of analog productions, right? But my point is that okay, so maybe that was part of the deal that he got this after that production. But
Wait.
there's got to be another factor here.
Do you have Hootie and the Blowfish?
I do.
No.
I have a sealed. That's the only sealed record I have is Hootie and the Blowfish A75.
You couldn't cut tuna in that shit.
So rate it, Chris. Rate it. You're not going to hate it. You're going to rate it. What is? How excited are you for this? You're putting the plastic down, right? For this one.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. It's Miles Davis. It's one of my favorite artists. Of course, I'm pumped for it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to apologize. Did I hear it yet? No. Can I go stream some of the outtakes? Sure, I can. But it's just gonna fit in with the rest of my collection.
Yeah, it's got a nice presentation. I think the cover's cool. I like how they did it. I mean, the price is right. They're not gouging you. It's $40. So, all right. I can't speak on it because I was too late. I didn't get my pre-order in.
But is there like so you can heal the whole record already, right? It's nothing new.
I guess so. I guess like Jay showed, it was all released on another release.
on
All right.
Jazz Track. Yeah.
But 3 out of
So-
the 4, right, Rojas? But I think the 4th one's on a kind of blue deluxe box.
The
On
fourth
CD.
one is mwah. The fourth one is like mwah.
Yep. So 3 of them are on Jazz Track. That last track, I believe, is an outtake from something else by Cannonball, I believe.
Cannonball.
I think. Yep. So
And
that's
here's the
Concert Buddy.
other thing too. There
Concert
isn't
Buddy.
a lot of outtakes from Kind of Blue. I think there's 2. There's an alternative version of Flamenco Sketches, and there's one other that has been released. So now you're kind of getting that whole movement available for everybody. It's not a bad thing if you like jazz and you like Miles.
Yeah.
Since Concert Buddy did not get I think, can you show his comment again, Spins?
Yeah.
This is for Concert Buddy. Like, this is how he feels right now. John McEnroe just
It hit
losing
the
it.
line. Chalk flew up.
Right.
Send me
Look
my
at that.
record.
Woo.
Wait, again, is that an iPad or is it a phone?
iPad Mini.
iPad Mini, Jose.
He fucked me over there, concert. I wasn't expecting that.
I guess my question for Concert Buddy is I didn't know he was that big of a Miles fan. That's painful.
He's not. He's assessing Acoustic Sound's ability to fulfill his order.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
a research thing. It's a research thing.
So let's go to, in fact, let me do another screen share here. Is this the right one? Yeah, there we go. All right, next one up is the Steely Dan catalog, which I guess you guys know more about this than I do. Looks like they're all getting UHQRs. Some people love it, some people hate it, but what I want to know is rate it or hate it on this one. We'll just go from top to bottom. We'll start with you, Chris. What are your thoughts on these? Are you're snacking these, aren't you, or are you?
I have yes. Well, first off, it's another.
First of
you're
all,
putting me in a
before
tough
you even,
spot.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. 3, 6, 9, $1,050 we got here, right? Am my math right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just
Whatever.
want to put that out there for 7 records.
Again, it's a tough spot for me. Steely Dan is arguably one of my favorite bands, hands down. I have white label promos of most of the catalog. I got these. Most of them, from what I have heard, crush those white label promos. The only exception, and I'm not the authority on this, and there's somebody else on the stream named David who would know this better. The Pretzel Logic is a little different.
Yeah.
But they have been extraordinary, and I think even the Gaucho might sound better than Asia to some degree. So this goes back to our comments earlier about, is vinyl dying. You couldn't get a reissue of a Steely Dan record forever. It was like they were out of print, and they didn't know if they had the tapes. There was all this controversy about it. Now you could, and for a while, I can tell you, going back to like 2016 to 2020, when you'd go into record stores, they were not in the just in bin anymore. The Steely Dan sections were depleted, where if you went back 15 or 20 years ago, they were $5. You can get Asia $5, $10, like no problem.
Right.
So there was this resurgence of Steely Dan with the younger generation. There was, I guess, probably some influence from some of the impact they had on hip hop, and DJs were grabbing this stuff. So the fact that they're in print isn't great. If you're a massive Steely Dan fan, these are amazing and they sound amazing, and this is tailor made for me. If this was a complete run of the Eagles, I wouldn't have any of them because I just don't like the Eagles and don't listen to the Eagles. But
yeah, this is in your wheelhouse. This
is right in my wheelhouse, and it's a lot of my friends' wheelhouses. So I think they're all fantastic, and I'm here for it. I'm a little concerned about how Katie Lied is going to sound, because I know there was a lot of tape issues historically with that record, and the Royal Scam isn't exactly an audiophile record. That's my favorite Steely Dan album in general, so I'm psyched for that too. But I'm on board with all of these.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
Are we ready? Do you have like the drum roll? There we go.
Okay.
Jose. Most people don't know this.
Let me give you this real quick. Hate it or rate it?
Actually, like Chris, I'm all in. I love Steely Dan. I'm all in. Sorry, Jose. This will be completing my Steely Dan UHQR main course. That'll be it. I'll probably be done.
All right.
And now that I have my system all set up to do like the comparisons, I will do the comparison. I'm not monetized, so I will play it. I will rate it. And we'll hear it together, right? So I think that's giving back to the community, right?
There you go, guys. Look for that on Jason Rojas's YouTube channel coming very soon. All right, David, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I've waited for this for years because, as Chris was saying, there was no reissue on it. A couple of these albums, Can't Buy a Thrill, Asia, Gaucho, Royal Scam, are some of my favorite records. And to all of these, they have definitely, all but Pretzel Logic, I would say, have hit it out of the park in terms of better quality. Pretzel Logic is unique. The way it's mastered, it sounds different in some ways, and I've come to appreciate that almost as a different record from the original. There are certain things in it that are emphasized that you couldn't really hear in the original. So it's really kind of an interesting thing, but it definitely broke the mold for what you would expect a reissue to be, in terms of things are a little brighter or things are a little, it really was different. But when I play that record, I play that one. So I think it's gotten a little bit of a bum rap, I think, because people have paradigms. But for me, the next ones coming out are interesting. And I think Katie Lied, as Chris said, because of the DBX issue, that'll be the most interesting one. And I think that's coming in January.
All right,
David,
all right.
can you educate me on what, if you can, on what that tape issue was? I've never really researched it. I think it's a little
the bottom line is they were always on the bleeding edge, and they went to DBX with their basically was competing with Dolby. It was kind of a compression expansion type thing, and the system they had an error in it, the way it recorded it, and it couldn't uncompress it, in terms of decoding it properly. And so they had to go back to DBX to their labs where they did this and try to resurrect it. and they did to some degree, but not fully.
Got it.
Yeah. I'll send you a write-up I've got on it, Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Jose, what about you, man? Is this in your wheelhouse?
All right, I'm gonna plead the fifth again, and I'm gonna quickly read a small poem from this book by Richard Brodigan instead of taking my answer.
Okay.
Randomly picking up a poem. This is called Cats. I love cats. Why do I love cats? I don't know exactly, but I think it's for the same reasons that I love the dawn and the sunrise and the coming down of rain.
Very
That was
astute. I love
beautiful.
it. That was beautiful.
great.
It was.
I mean, if I was going to rate it, I would give that a 10.
I would, yeah.
All right. Next up, holiday music. We can go quick, guys. Let's go quick. Holiday music. Rate it or hate it. Let's go. Jose, holiday music. Rate it or hate it.
What holiday?
Well, Christmas music. Let's say Christmas. I should have said Christmas music.
All right. I like Snoopy.
That's the Charlie Brown stuff. Okay. Vince
Yes.
Guaraldi.
If I could punch Jose Feliciano in the nutsack, like I would. That's my other Christmas take.
Feliz Navidad.
Really? Look. Since I was a kid, I would go to the supermarket, and that shit would be like constantly blowing up here. So I just hate it. I just hate it. I will say that few things I hate with all my gut, but Christmas supermarket music is like up there with Fathom and War.
I always feel bad for the people that work there. They have to hear that same thing on a loop like all day, every day.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
There you go.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I do have that Snoopy record, and I actually do like singing Christmas songs, and I actually have some Bing Cosby shit, right? But
Is that an OG, Jay?
Yeah, of course.
Cry now.
Looks like a white label promo. Looks like.
Cry now, cry later. Just cry now.
I will
You
say
can
that
cry now or
I have a
cry.
cool Spotify Christmas music playlist if anybody's interested.
Cry now or pay him later when he has it slabbed. Charlie Brown
Right.
Christmas, right there. Vince Guaraldi.
Fuck it. I will post it in the.
Yeah, post it. Post the link. Post the link.
Yes.
I have a, but it's all like weird music for Christmas. All right,
Christmas music. Rate it or hate it.
I hate it.
I already knew you were going to say that.
I hate it. Well, there's a lot of reasons why, but the low hanging fruit is I did work retail as a kid in a music store, and we were forced a lot of times to play it. I do like Christmas time because I have plenty of time off from work to drop the needle at 8 a.m. and go till 2 in the morning on my record player, so that's fun. But there is one exception. I do own a rare first pressing on cassette of Elmo and Patsy's Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
Ooh.
On cassette. Nice.
This is an OG.
You have to
I don't think
slap
you have-
that.
I don't think you have this, Rojas. I don't think you have it.
Nope.
Do you?
No, no.
That's right. White color variant cassette as well. If you're keeping score at home.
Where's the case? Do you have the case for it? It's just a raw cassette.
Yeah. I also have some other caseless Alvin and the Chipmunks Volume 1 and 2.
Oh, look at this.
I recently was at my parents' house going through my old CDs that Jason Rojas has original OGs of from the 90s on vinyl. And I did find these. So they're sentimental to me. I'll keep them around, but I am not a fan of Christmas music.
So you're not spinning those the day after Thanksgiving?
Nope.
All right. Did you go, David? What are your thoughts on Christmas music?
Well, I like Christmas music because it's kind of mood for the season. This is one of my favorite ones, the Carpenters. This is got a lot of good traditional and non-traditional. This is Bernie Grunman, Jason, just for your knowledge. He mastered this.
Not
He
King
ma-
Tut? Ah, come on.
Yeah, he mastered it. And this is a one when Jackson 5 Christmas record.
I've never seen that. That's cool.
And this is one that is really a really good record of all Air Supply. But I mean, they really do a great job with a lot of traditional tunes. It's surprisingly good. So I like Christmas music.
Very nice. Very nice. I should have pulled one actually. Let's see if I can grab it easily. There we go. Blow myself up here just quickly. Yeah, I love this record right here, man. I think the Beach Boys, the tunes that they did, the first few on here that are, I believe were written by the Beach Boys. Little Saint Nick,
Yep.
The Man with All the Toys, Santa's Beard, all written by Brian Wilson. Merry Christmas Baby. Like, those are really good tunes in my opinion, man. So I don't mind Christmas music. I go in for more classical stuff, you know, the older stuff. But yeah, I'm glad I don't have to work in retail anymore, so I don't have to hear that stuff constantly. All right, what about last on the list is Black Friday Record Store Day. Rate it or hate it. Jason, go.
It's good when you're hanging out with some friends. Like I may go with Terry at Tap Records, go to our local Piranha Records. Terry, if you're still watching, maybe send the invite in our VC Austin meetup group on Discord. Maybe, you know, it can be fun, but I don't know. Like this year's titles are a bit dry. I mean, I kind of wish they would do this one. Peggy Lord, The Lusty Trusty Buster. You know, if they did this on RSD, this probably hit the mark for a lot of people out there. You know.
Jason, can you post the link that I sent you? It's my sorry. There
You private
My
chat?
Christmas
Okay, I'll post it.
There you go.
Man,
Peggy-
everyone's
Peggy
just
Lord.
shocked with Peggy Lord here. The femme fully buster. Just heads up, you know.
It's
I heard there's going to be a
I'll
skin
wait for it.
skin color flesh variant on that for
Right.
ours.
I mean, the back cover is even better. She's just about to knock you out, right?
oh yeah, but now she's wearing clothes.
I know. Come on now.
Gosh.
That's an Aggie fly swatter, isn't it? No.
All right, I think everyone had a fair chance at that. So, what was? Oh yeah, no. You were on. Okay, sorry. Okay, Jose, Record Store Day, Black Friday. Go ahead. Your 1 minute take.
I'm looking forward to getting Scarlett Johansson's record because
Hey, you've been looking about. Is this one we've been talking about for a while, right?
Yes. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it because I don't know if it's going to be here. But that I need that, and then what the fuck else did I needed? There was something else I wanted. I don't remember.
The English beat.
The vocal of Billie Eilish, that all her vocals on that album, right?
I wouldn't be caught dead buying that shit. What else? There was something else that I needed. It was a soundtrack or something. I don't remember. But you know, I'm gonna go to my local stores and probably stare at the line and you know, smoke cigarettes outside of the store till somebody just says something funny, and you know, and then I leave.
Well, Jose, if you don't find the Scarlett Johansson, you know, this guy, you know, from the vinyl community, will
Yeah. All right. That
help you
all right.
out. Help you out.
thanks.
Little VCLT
Yes,
hookup happening.
Keep
brokerage.
Keep my Jewish sister Scarlett Johansson near me. Scarlett Jo. All right, there you go. Thanks.
Thank you, Jose. Chris, Record Store
another
Day,
big
Black
moment.
Friday.
Another big moment. Rojas putting community back in the vinyl community, looking to help our brother pick up the SJ. I don't hate Record Store Day. There are a couple of titles I want. My brother-in-law and I will get in the car in the afternoon and dread for 45 minutes if there's going to be a line or not. And we'll get there and there'll be a line and we'll still wait and we'll go in and buy a couple of things and support our local store. Yeah, I want like the Herbie box and the Max Roach title and maybe one other. But
What time are you going to be at? What time are you going to get there? Start standing in line.
I don't anymore. I actually never have like got online at 4 a.m. I just usually go and take my chances with what's left. So fortunately for me, the record stores are spread out, so everybody gets a big allocation, and most people, aren't crammed up. And a lot of the titles that sell out, I would never buy. So
Do you
Gotcha.
mean you don't need the War box set Volume 2?
no, especially when the first one is like 50% off everywhere I see it sealed.
Tell that Concert Buddy probably bought it the same day that it came out. Don't make him sad. Don't make him sad now.
I don't want. I didn't realize Concert Buddy didn't get that miles. I don't want to make him any more sad than he is.
I'm trying to think what else I wanted. I mean,
There's a
stuff,
Gil Scott Heron too.
there's stuff that I would buy if I didn't have like my head up of a like like you have to buy something, right? I can't remember what else I wanted.
Well, while you're thinking, Dave, go for it. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm thinking the SpongeBob SquarePants movie soundtrack's the one I'm looking for.
Okay, Patrick, don't talk about it now.
That has Ween on it.
Probably the Fragile Outtakes is the one I'm probably going to get
Yeah.
from Yes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But I'm not big on crowds, and I'm not big on waiting.
Now I remember, it's Modest Mouse. It's our own bone bullshit. It's a live record that somebody made a bootleg of, and the bootleg goes for like $300. So it's finally coming out on vinyl for real, which has a funny bit in the middle of the song that somebody yells "Free Bird," and the guy says,
And then you hear a gunshot next.
No, he goes like, "There's not enough time in the fucking world to play Freebird." So I that's basically why I wanted it.
Well, if we're gonna do this right, we got to rate it. So, David, rate it. How does this Black Friday compare to others on a scale from 1 to 10?
As far as selection goes, for me, about a 2.
A 2. Chris.
I'm gonna go with how many titles I want. A 4 out of 10.
4. Jose.
I'm gonna plead the fifth again.
So Jose's hated. Or are you gonna read another? Well, hold on. You will let Jason go. Jason, rate it. Go for it.
I like meeting up with Terry. We have a good time. We'll rate it a 5 for meeting up. Records, meh. But meet up good.
From the meetup standpoint, we get a 5. All right. Okay, go ahead, Jose. Let me make you big first.
All right. This one's called. Let me actually read a good one.
A good one? You said a good one.
Man.
It's
Yes.
Richard Brodigan. It's all good ones.
Yeah, it's all good, but but he has like funny ones that it's like whatever. All right, the last one, it says, "A hunger for a star. I love deep and pure as the river a star named Mary. She is pressed against the window of eternity called the sky. My arms are only a few feet long." There you go.
Free Bird.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna rate that one a 7. The last one was a 10. I got to give that one a 7. I think you went to the high point was your last one. Oh, there goes Jay.
This one
He's
was
just crying. He's crying.
More sad.
We're doing slam poetry in a couple of weeks because
That'll be good.
Yeah, we need to do a whole episode on poetry. All right, guys, let's move into our fourth. If we were a double LP album here in a gatefold, this would be side 4. So here we go.
Or the etching. Hmm?
Or etched. Yep. Here we go for the. Let me get the showdown.
Yeah. Showdown.
All right, what is the showdown? Showdown is just where we're going to pit 2 records up. Well, we picked 2 records, and it can be different every time. But the point of this one was we need the most valuable pressing. We need what is a record that needs to be reissued. 2 have been picked. I would like to stick to those picks, but we can always talk about other ones that need to get reissues, and we can get into why
And
Let
don't
me
be pleading the fifth, all right, Chris?
No pleading.
I'm in.
Jose, you plead the fifth twice. I do not want any Richard Brodigan on this one. All right, here we go. We got Funkadelic Maggot Brain pairing up with the Beatles in mono. This doesn't have to be the box set, as Chris mentioned to me when I came up with this. This can be we just want the Beatles in mono so we can buy the ones we want. And they need to be nice audiophile pressings on both of these. So everybody would love to hear what you think in the chat. Let's start with Jay. You mind jumping in on this one, Jason? And what do you think, man? So here it is, Funkadelic Maggot Brain. Do we need a nice audiophile pressing of this, or are you more champing at the bit for some Beatles and mono?
I don't know, Spins. It's a tough one. If they reissue this one more time, they're going to get it right. I promise you. I promise you. If they reissue this one more time, just one more, on 4 LPs.
One more time.
Just on 4 LPs. Why not? Just do it.
Who hasn't mastered that? Whose turn is it?
Has that gotten a Benny
King Tut.
Brennan?
King Tut hasn't mastered this yet.
All right.
Just get him, But in all honesty, just get the Beatles OGs. I know you're going to pay more. Go with Maggot Brain. That's it. And reissue this one more time.
Reissue Kinda Blue one more time. The UHQR mono or double 45 in mono and stereo was not enough.
Right.
more.
Post-birth blues, right? Whatever.
All right. What about you, David? What do you think here? And I assume you have sealed copies of both, but I mean, if you were...
I saw that move.
I think the market wants the Beatles in mono. I mean, that for me is what I would think the market would want. A lot of people, aren't going to pay the $1,400 or whatever going rate is for that. So I think, you're not going to get top shelf UK originals. It's going to cost you more than that the way it is now, to be honest, and you won't find them. I mean, you'll never, it'll take you forever to find a set unless you want to just take your chances and buy them all on Discogs. So I think it'd be bad for people like me, who have one, because the value of it's going to go way down.
If you're saying, if you have an OG of Maggot Brain, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
No, I'm saying if you have like the Beatles in mono box set, if you have one and they re-release it, the issue, the value of the ones that are out that you have are going to go down.
But then everybody that wants one gets one, David.
That's right. That's right. And I'm okay with that.
Are you for them releasing them in? Just release them all, but separately. Do we have to have a box? It's so cost prohibitive, and you might already have some monos in your collection that are fine. Sure. I would love to just see nice audio files of the whole series come out, and just let me pick the ones out of the discography that I need.
Yeah, well, the ones that came out, nobody said they were audio files, so let's start with that. It wasn't.
Okay.
Okay. But I know like the Capitol, that's what they're doing. You can buy the box, and pay $70 for the Beatles story or whatever, or you can buy them individually, which is what I'm going to do, the ones I want. But if Mike at InGroove said the quality of the ones he saw is problematic. So we'll see.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, Jose, where are you going on this? Who's going to take the title? Is it Funkadelic or the Beatles? I don't want to hear any Brodigan.
No, all right. I'll throw like a coin or something. This Costa Rican 10 colones that I have here. So I guess the Beatles. The Beatles getting repressed next year. You wait for that shit.
We just need UHQRs in mono of every single title.
That's gonna do.
That would be my Steely Dan.
45 RPM records of the whole catalog, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Does anyone know? Are these masters missing, or how come we're not getting? Or I'm talking about on the Maggot Brain. Does anyone know about that?
No, they just reissued it like last year.
High res file.
Oh yeah,
Do we know if those are from
I
the
don't think it
Masters?
was. I don't think it was from the master.
Well, I think that they're gonna probably do it next year or something.
They're trying to get everyone's money on the cheap ones first, and then upgrade everybody.
I don't know how that record. I used to see that record a lot, but it's not for me. So I don't know why it's so expensive now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very well known record.
It's hard to
They
find.
got a
It's hard
lot
to
of
find
press.
clean.
That's the thing. These things were beat up, right? And clean ones are very expensive.
Yeah, but wasn't it like press the fuck out like years after the original one?
Concert Buddy wants to see Don Johnson's Heartbeat.
What?
Audio file reissue.
Get out of here.
What do you think, Chris? Which one are you looking for on this?
I think for the VC, this goes back to the conversation about the youth. They should be able to access these individual Beatle mono reissues at an affordable price. It's a crime they're not in print. No one wants the US ones unless you're a really hardcore Beatles collector. You grew up on those versions. For me, though, I need Maggot Brain because I'm sick and tired of buying shitty reissues of this record and it's sounding like crap. So I'd like somebody to do an all analog from the master tape, not a transfer of the file, and get it pressed on clean vinyl because it's a very quiet record at times, and the most important part of the record is quiet. So I'd like to see. I think Rojas and I have gone back and forth, and so we'd like to see the whole Funkadelic, and Parliament catalog reissued properly, all together, because they should be in print. Because all of the originals are hard to get clean and in good condition for the most part.
How many records do they have?
I don't know. Probably
It can't be
20.
that many, right? Is it 20?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll take the
There's
best ones. I don't know if I need them all, but
I know a guy
I
who
need-
probably do it for like a few HQRs. You know?
I need them all. And I can't just have one. I have them all.
So what'd you pick, Jay? You went with which one?
I went with pick this again, just reissue it one more time. Get King Tut.
You plead the
Do it on
fifth,
4
remember?
LPs. No,
plead
I
the
said
fifth.
Funkadelic, Maggot Brain. That's what you should
So
do.
wait, that leaves us with 2 Funkadelics and 2 Beatles. That means I'm the tiebreaker? Oh, I don't like this. How about guys in chat? Which one do you want? Let's do a quick tiebreaker. You guys want the Maggot Brain? You guys want the
I
Beatles?
bet Wyoming Dave wants Funkadelic.
Everybody gets 1 vote. Don't make it too hard for me to count everybody up. But you can just put 1 or 2. Put 1 or 2 if it's easier. Maggot Brain is 1. Beatles is 2.
Or you could put 5 for plead the fifth.
Final Piper says no Funkadelic after 1980.
Oh, come on. Come on,
Really?
Piper. Come on.
He doesn't like that Connections record? Oh, man. Jeez. What's wrong with that one, man? I know that
Purpose
George
Team.
Clooney ain't on that record, but that record's pretty funky. Man, ouch.
Concert Buddy, what do you want, man? What do you want? You want Maggot Brain or you want Beatles? We got 1 for Maggot Brain. We got 1 for 2, Live Crew.
All right. Somebody said Funkadelic.
We got a couple maggots, MB all day. Yeah, I think that's where we're going with this. All right, I think Maggot Brain is going to take the title. There we go. MVP, most valuable pressing of today's The Showdown is Maggot Brain. We need an audiophile pressing of that sucker. And some people want to see both. Yeah, why not both? But I mean, if you had to pick one, Well, heck, guys, that's all the programming I got. Does anyone have anything else they want to get into?
I actually, could I ask David a question about that?
Absolutely.
That Butcher cover. So I want to. When I talk to you, David, and I watch your videos, I know you love music, and that's the most important thing. And this whole vinyl thing is an important part of that. But what means more to you, having that original record from your childhood that you purchased, or the money?
Oh, it's. I think I put a comment earlier about that. It's the memory of that. That's when I see those and touch those, I immediately recollect, to buying them and what it was like and all that. And the fact that it's worth that is almost. I mean, I was shocked to see what I just saw earlier with that slabbing of that thing. I probably wouldn't do that to it just because it means too much as the way it is. So to me, it's a much tighter personal connection to me than it is that value is kind of secondary.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
Can we show some shit we bought this week?
If you bought shit, we don't see it.
Well, David, you and I know that somewhere in Scandinavia, there's a big frozen dong from a paleontologist took out like the fuck out of a river, and it's in a museum. So
Really?
yeah, so
Long Dong Silver.
yeah. Remember that? We can't hear you, Jason. None of the Jasons are visible. Or
Yeah, what are they doing?
oh, there we go.
I was muted. Oh, you're right. I'm not visible either.
But I don't want to go first. What is this?
It was your idea.
Released
We
in
should-
1956, Ellis Regina, right? This
All right, hold
record
on.
that I got in Chicago. And when I was out there, what was I doing out there? Good question. I was there to see Pulp, the UK band from the 90s. Well, they're actually older than the 90s, but this is actually bossa nova in a way, right? Samba. Before it's very clean Brazilian, right? So this was the cheapest I found at Reckless Records. I think I paid less than $10 for this. Good score.
Very
There
nice.
you go, for Jose.
Jose. Is that it, Jay?
Yep, that's. I guess that's all I'm going to show.
All right.
There.
Ooh, I like the Ohio players up there. I just snagged one of those too.
Skin tight.
All right. I think others went to go grab some records. So, Jose, you're up. Either you or me are going. Who do you want to go first?
You.
All right, I'll go. I got a bunch of records, guys. I'll try to go through them fast. I've been filling up my my Discogs with nothing but funk and electric, soul and R&B and early rap and stuff. So I'll go over these quick. Here's Chocolate Milk right there. Great little funky record right there.
Very sexual.
Very sexual. If you want to buy a record for the cover, that's one to get. Another Cameo record. Last time I showed Word Up. This time we got that one. We got, so I have to put this in a place where they don't go flying everywhere. A little Ready for the World right there. That one's Digital Display. Digital Display. Love that song. Mary Jane Girls, the Rick James joint that he put together. All Rick James, but with some ladies representing. The Fat Boys Are Back with Pump It Up. From the film Crush Groove. Look at that.
That's wild.
And these things all came in shrink with hypes and stuff. I'm so excited. The Ohio players I got, Jay, is Gold right there.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice one. A Taste of Honey. Everybody go out and get a taste of honey. This has got Boogie Oogie Oogie, till you just can't boogie no more. DeBarge. Don't get this for Rhythm of the Night. You're probably sick of it, but there's a lot of other great stuff on there.
I've never seen any of these records.
Maybe you saw this one, dude. This is one someone recommended to me on my channel a while ago. I'm finally picking it up, and it's Diodato. That's Prelude. This is on CTI, and this is cool stuff, man. Very different, very different. So Diodato. So that's all I got. Sorry, I went so deep there, but that's all the stuff that I picked up recently. So you want to go, Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to show just a select few, one batch, but I found this used bookstore I used to go to as a kid, and I forgot they had records. So me and the fam dropped down there on Sunday, and I got a bunch of steals, I think. So just for a couple bucks a piece, I got these Bethlehem's Finest compilations. So I'm a big Bethlehem jazz label fan, and they're kind of underappreciated, but these are just cool, cheap comps. These are like unplayed for like $3 a piece. So I scooped those.
Cool.
This I bought just based upon the cover. This is one of the coolest album covers I've ever seen. The Roy Merriweather Trio, Soul Invader. It's like some cool jazz from the late 60s. So it looks like a comic book.
That's cool.
Looks like Nick Cannon.
I have no idea what this was when I picked it up. It's not in great condition, but Willis Jackson, Cook and Sherry. It's an original Prestige, kind of like an organ guitar trio, I think. Got this Max Roach Parisian Sketches on Mercury. This was behind their counter as kind of like their higher end stuff, but it wasn't that expensive. It was like $15 in great condition. But these are the three highlights for me. $6. Minty Men at Work, which is a fun record.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's a nice record.
This is great too. Rick James Street Songs for $9. Can't beat that.
Oh, that's a great one.
And then I bought this, still in the shrink, and I'm going to use it to go skeet shooting with. This is the infamous Terrence Trent D'Arby debut album that was supposed to be the next Sgt. Pepper's. I just bought it because I've honestly never heard it, and I've seen the album cover and heard the stories of them, but it's absolutely atrocious, and I don't recommend it for anyone.
That's got, what is it called? Wishing Well, or I think is on that one. That's a good one.
So that's what's on.
Wait. I don't know
sticker.
anything about that record. You said it was going to be the next Sgt. Pepper's, and it sucks ass.
Well, this is what I think. What he said was when he was doing like the promo for it. He said this is going to be the most important record since Sgt. Pepper's or something like that.
Yeah,
And-
people on drugs said that. Okay, let's clear that up.
yeah. So, but yeah,
You're offending
I've
David,
heard-
Chris.
I know. I don't agree with it, but I never heard the album, and I
Yeah.
said, let me give it a shot. But not my cup of tea. But if anybody wants in the VC, I'll pay the shipping and send it to you. I'm embarrassed that it's in my collection.
Oh gosh.
How bad can it be? What type of music is that?
I plead the fifth.
It's like Neo Soul in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to read a
All right, hold on.
Neo Soul.
It is like Neo Soul, but it's not like Neo Soul.
It's the Sgt. Pepper of Neo Soul. There we go. We'll go there. We'll go there.
It makes Voodoo look like Sonny and Cher.
It's the
that's
our Satanic's Majesty's request of Neo Soul.
There we go.
It's the maggot brain of late '80s Neo Soul.
It's the Ringo Starr of.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Chris. Is that everything, dude?
Yeah, I thought that was good.
I mean, I know it's not, but those are the highlights, right?
Yeah, that's the highlights for me. It was just a good trip getting back to the core of things. I'm with my daughter and my wife in the store, and they're just letting me dig, touching every
That's
record.
fun,
I
dude.
find these. It's just fun. It was just a fun trip.
Yeah, I love that. David, what have you snagged recently? What have you snagged recently?
Yeah, just a few from my Europe trip. I didn't find a lot there, to tell you the truth. Found out Swing Out Sister.
Oh wow.
That's
Nice.
very nice.
Cool,
Good
cool.
like 80s pop record.
80s
Yep.
pop, yeah. This is a double album of Donovan. It's like a greatest hits, but I've never seen it before.
Hmm.
I got it for it was half off. It was like €4.
That's an interesting cover.
Yellow Epic. I mean, just
Like
That's cool.
Donovan is coming out of Donovan's back head. Can you show that again?
yeah.
It's like Donovan's brain. You guys know that's like an old science fiction movie.
Yeah.
What's Donovan's daughter's name? Everybody remember?
Donovan? No, I don't know.
Donovan's daughter. She's an actress.
I don't know.
You remember that John Cusack movie with the boombox? She's the girl.
Oh,
Oh, really?
really?
Yeah,
Say anything.
yeah.
Wow.
What's that girl's name? She's married to Ben Lee. I know everything except her name.
Except for
You know Ben Lee, the Australian singer. Oh, I Own Sky. There you go, or whatever.
I Own Sky. Okay.
Wyoming knows everything.
My gosh. Okay.
The human magic 8-ball.
He is. I got a 12-inch of McCartney's, what's it called? Once Upon a Long Ago. It's like a 7-minute track of his that I've been looking for. I got that in Vienna. And just before I left, I got this.
Mm.
This is a Horzu, a Please Please Me.
Oh, whoa, that's cool.
And I think it's the best sounding Please Please Me there is.
Not really. Not in my opinion. Nah.
Compared to what, Jason? You have this one?
Yes. Do you want me to go get it? I say compared
No.
to the man, gosh, now I'm going to do a hot take. That actually, they add so much reverb on it, and it creates the illusion of great soundstage. I think the best version, stereo wise.
They added reverb.
Are you ready? My opinion is it's the MoFi from the box.
Ooh.
That was easy.
Yeah, that is different. And I've got that. So
I think that one's better. So I don't know, like maybe
Might
like
have a fight on our hands.
we shot that out against. Actually, we shot that one out against it, and the three people that was here to shoot it out didn't agree. We all thought
wow.
Yeah, I've been questioning your hearing for a while now, so. Or your system or something.
No. I'm serious. Like I will actually, one of the things that I wanted to do is do the Dexterize Beatles, and because most people don't want to, or they're monetized, so they can't do it. And
Right,
I wanted
exactly,
to do Rubber.
right,
I was going to do Rubber Soul, so maybe later today or. and
Wait,
then
can't we
have
get
that
you
out.
two? Can't we get you two in the same room? Aren't you guys both in Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's a big state, but
Well, yeah. I think like next time, David, if you're available
Austin.
up here,
Sure.
in Austin, come down, man.
Yeah.
We'll hang out. We'll listen.
We'll do it.
Yep.
Great. No, that's
there we
good.
go. There we go. Making it happen
fly
right here in the
down for
vinyl
that?
community.
I'm gonna fly down for that one.
Yeah, let's all do it. We'll get a camera
Yeah.
crew.
Let's go.
The big shootout.
Yes.
Putting the community back in VC once again, guys.
There you go.
And I'm all for it. Anyone who
No.
wants to come and again, if you're ever in Austin, just look me up, man. We'll listen to records. We'll go record shopping. I'm game for it.
You know his name. Look up his number, as the Beatles.
You know
There
the
we go.
game.
Wow.
Is that it, David?
Yeah, that's it, bud. Thanks.
So,
All
so
right,
David,
Jose.
bad choice traveling on records.
Bad what? I'm sorry?
Bad choices when you traveled. I thought you'd come back with a suitcase full.
No, I just didn't find a lot. I mean, it was just, I found a few things for some other folks that I bought for them, you know what I mean? That I have on a list, but stuff for me, but I'm getting choosier and, I'm, you know what I mean? You start running that string out a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, what do you get the man that has everything? Next thing you know, you got to get North Korean, versions of Let It Be and stuff.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Kim Jong-un's greatest hits.
Go ahead, Jose. This was your idea.
All right.
All right, here we go. Better be good, dude.
It better be good.
No pressure.
It won. That's why it won't. So that's why I'm glad. All right. So I got this. This is let me take it out of the screen. This is Death in June live in '82. It's called "Oh How We Laughed," and the name of the band again, Death in June. If you like Joy Division, if you like darky stuff, if you like very darky stuff, you might like this. If you like neo folk, you might like this. If you like weird shit, you might like this. But I was just happy to get it. It came with a thing where you could still mail order thing, so that was pretty interesting, and I was really happy to get that. I normally can't get this side of the world, and I mean in the whole continent. Death in June is not that popular or whatever.
Dana wants to know if that's a bootleg, Jose.
No, that's not a bootleg. But it's just a live record. That's why they don't have a shit. That's how it got reissued. It got issued from the first one. But no, this is not a bootleg. I don't have a Death in June bootlegs. But then I got two of my biggest grails that I've ever had in my life. This one is just for me a grail, I guess. But this is a record for my country. It's called Los Cristians. It's like poppy, just poppy music from El Salvador. But it again, like I've said before, this year I wanted to, like you guys buy music from your country. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start buying shit from mine, and it gets more and more difficult to get it in good condition, because mostly stuff that's like very fuzzy and stuff like that. A lot of people outside of my country they want to get. So it's always weird. It actually came with the original inner sleeve, which I just liked.
That's cool.
That's cool.
It's a horrible, but I mean, the material is horrible. But I like that it was like it had some art on it. So I was really happy to get that. I've been looking at it for a while. I have a lot of compilations with them, but I've never seen it. And then my ultimate grail and one of the best record, if not the best record that I got this year, it's an opera record. It's this record that I bug every single human being that I know about to help me find it. So this is called "The Death of Don Juan." If anybody here likes like Philip Glass, Steve Reich, stuff like that, experimental music, Arthur Russell plays the cello in this. I was looking for this like crazy. I think that like we've talked about like grails all the time, but this type of records, even if you have money, this is like it cost me like $90, but there are records that even if you had the money, it doesn't matter if you have the money, they just don't come up for sale. You can't buy them. Nobody has them for sale. For example, this one, I think I'm number 45 in Discogs of people that have it, but like 500 are looking for it,
Yeah.
So it's like a record that there are actually no photos of the back on the on Discogs, right? So that's the back. It just has like that. Or of the record, or I didn't even know that it had like an inner sleeve and stuff like that. So a guy in Germany sold it to me, very sketchy. Somebody helped me. Somebody that's involved in the record told me to.
Was he selling tomatoes?
What?
Was he selling tomatoes at the time?
No. No, but it was weird because somebody said like, "Hey, I know a guy that was selling it, but he couldn't sell it." And I was like, "All right, What pretty shitty year of buying records if that's your best get." Patrick, shut the fuck up, you fucking asshole. All right, but there you go. But yeah, so it's been a great year. I think that again, people always say like, "Oh, that's a grail," but it's mostly just a record that's really expensive.
Yeah.
Because you can buy it. Like you can buy a Butcher cover right now if you had the money, right? But the real weird thing is buying records that are really hard to get that no one has for sale. Not even an expensive copy. They're just known for sale for years. Right? This one, I think the last one sold 2023, and then before that, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. So it's just
Wow.
like, and I have two other friends that were looking for it, and one got it in a New York store, and the other one got it in Germany as well. So
You need to grade that sucker.
Patrick, go listen to some fucking piece of shit rock and get the fuck out of here. All right, there you go.
Jose, wait, I like serious Jose for a second. So I like your opinion on Grail. It's not about the economics of it. It's something that you want.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Wouldn't you say that your collection as a whole is a Grail because it's what you want?
Yeah, I mean, it just again the term Grail. Like I understand when people say like, oh yeah, I wish I get a Led Zeppelin 2 RL for $5, right? Like, and you're looking for one and you don't buy it because you're looking for it all the time. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. But I think like a true Grail should be something that even money couldn't buy. You know what I mean? Because we all have that one record that even if you had money, it just doesn't go up So
Well,
I think
it's
that,
your curation. Your curation. It's kind of your playlist. So
Yeah, my
Yeah,
grail's
yeah.
not going to be
Cool.
someone else's grail or vice versa, right? I
Absolutely
mean,
not.
if
No.
it's
Yeah, and
something that
actually,
I am
yeah,
pursuing.
uh, to say, for example, I like this is yes, it's an opera record. She is a beautiful human being that no one knows. She's probably only known in the classical world, contemporary classical world. It's very difficult to get record. It was she put the record out herself on her own label with her own money, and yeah, not a lot of people know about it. And but the people that do know about it, they appreciate it. They like it, and I think that part of this thing we do sometimes it's putting it up in front because if I could really like, I was trying to reissue this record and I met a lot of good people trying to do that, but it appears that someone already is working on it. So it's going to get reissued hopefully next year or next year after that. But because a lot of people think that experimental music and all that it's a bit of a bourgeoisie type shit, like people like gatekeeping shit. But no, like that's why I'm showing it because maybe somebody out there that likes to dip their toes in uh, some weirder stuff, and again, that's why I mentioned like Philip Glass or Steve Reich, because they're very popular names, I'm not, but you want to listen to something nice, something that you didn't know existed, New York type music from a very specific era of an artist you don't know about, and also people keep your eyes and there's records out there that people in the VC are looking for, and you know but I think I personally, like I said before, even on this same episode, uh, I like what I like, and I collect what I collect, and I think that you should always put in music. I think you should always put your needs first, in the sense that even if somebody doesn't like what you buy or whatever, you know, do it for yourself in that case, but never buy just because somebody else told you to buy it, and if you're
Words of wisdom.
fundamentally,
Words of wisdom, Jose.
mm,
Am I still in echo? No, I thought I still sounded like this.
No.
Okay.
No.
The light was lit. Yep. All right, guys. We are a little bit over. We are 8:20. I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. I appreciate everyone on the panel. Jason, David, Jose, Chris, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate you guys. This was fun. This was a good one.
Sure enough.
I love it.
All right, you guys. Thanks everyone for watching. We will see you. Stay tuned next Thursday for Concert
No,
Buddy.
next Thursday's Thanksgiving, or is
Next Thursday's
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. You're right. Well, I don't know what's going to happen next Thursday. We might be skipping a week. Let me see what Jay's showing.
Yeah.
But look for us the following Thursday for sure. And we're going to take you out. We're going to play you out with a little Bush. the band, of course.
Not Kate. Not Kate.
Not Kate. Not any other Bush. Not the one
More
that
like
Jason almost
Underbrush.
showed earlier that was hiding behind a guitar. All right, you guys.
See
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.